Think of a monitor control like a water faucet. If in Copenhagen today the pressure of the water is low and we're having a little drought, I have to open the water faucet more to get the same pressure out. If the water pressure is high, I have to close the faucet to get the same pressure out. Now imagine that your water faucet was marked with numbers describing the position of the faucet. I could approximately gauge by the pressure that's coming out and the position of the faucet how much pressure there must be coming in to the faucet. And the same thing is true with a monitor level control. The higher the pressure coming into my monitor control, the more I have to turn it down to get the same loudness to my ears. Now remember that when the monitor control is set to the 0 dB position, I have 20 dB headroom in my recording between my average loudness and my peak loudness, which is also full-scale digital. For every dB that I turn my monitor gain down, I lose 1 dB of peak headroom. Okay? So I can record material with a wide dynamic range with the monitor control turned way up. But I cannot record material with a wide dynamic range when I turn the monitor down because of the reasons that we've been looking at. And this kind of also combines the years of the loudness race to kind of show you that as the years have gone on, our monitor controls and all the consumers' monitor controls have been going down and down and down as the average level goes up and up and up. And right here, I call this point the point of no return. The point below which, if I start processing the material that's required to get a certain loudness, I'm going to start losing too many transients and the material starts to sound squashed. Yeah, thank you, Mary. Squashed and clipped and all kinds of stuff. And so, as a mastering engineer with a monitor that's calibrated like this, I can put on any recording, and by looking at where the monitor is set, I can get a pretty good idea of how compressed it is. It's another tool for me, another useful tool. This is an example of meters that I was proposing. But you know what? I think that if we just get the peaks out of there, if we forget looking at the peak level at all, I think it will discourage mixing engineers from trying to peak normalize. So I think that perhaps just a little indicator light would be better. Especially if we start working at that high monitor gain again, that will result from average levels of minus 20 dB FS or minus 23 LK FS, whatever we come to for a standard will be in that ballpark. You won't need to worry about the peaks because your ears will tell you it's too loud long before the peak meter clips. So in summary, we must abandon peak metering, and the servers that will be used by the consumer should include loudness normalization while it's being loaded in. So there's plenty of opportunity to design algorithms for servers and servers that will do this. Why do I say that won't be perfect? Well, the reason it won't be perfect is that Beethoven symphonies will be just as loud as harpsichord solos. But that's better situation than the problem we've gotten ourselves into. And there may be some solutions such as album, defining that a full album of music has a given gain, but I fear that, okay, back in the analog LP days, I would put on a Beethoven symphony and then a Mozart string quartet LP, and the Mozart would be a little bit loud because they were working to keep the levels up so the LP noise wouldn't be heard. We like to listen to music at the natural loudness of the group. And so the string quartet in a perfect world should be mastered at a lower average level than the full symphony. But I don't think that's going to happen in the first few years or maybe ever in this transition. But it's still much, much better than what the situation that we have with the analog processing and so on. So, normalization of loudness is a unique solution. It can save us from a 21st century of bad sound. When the EBU system takes over, this CD will be brought down about 6 dB to fall into the minus 20 average range. But it will not need any further compression or limiting or other processing. So it will be broadcast exactly the way that I mastered it, hopefully. So that's encouraging. But the Black Eyed Peas, I don't know. What would happen to that? Well, it would just be turned down and not, they wouldn't change that either. So, okay. Oh.